Okay, let's finish up that very last question on the fourth section of Chapter 5. Talking about the Quebec Act. This was passed in 1774, and it was unsettling to the colonists, to say the least. A lot of what was done, they thought either violated human rights or they thought was very threatening to their existence. First off, the Quebec Act established a territory in the north, where Quebec is, like in Canada. There was no representative assembly, so there was no say by the locals in their own government. This was unsettling to a lot of colonists. The Quebec Act also established a territory that had an official national or a territorial religion, the Catholic religion. That was the official religion of those living in Quebec. It also granted access of land between Mississippi and the Ohio River. So all down the western part of the colonies, like Pennsylvania, and so on, and the western portion of those colonies, there was this Quebec region, which meant that really meant that kind of Britain was in the house. This is kind of the British colony; they were their neighbors, and it was unsettling, to say the least, that all of a sudden now you're going to have these British officials. They're going to be right next to you, land between the Mississippi and Ohio. It was a little too close to home, a little too close for comfort for those people living in the colonies. Because of this kind of starts to get this idea brewing in a lot of people's heads that maybe we need to form some sort of, kind of organize some sort of a meeting to kind of figure out how we're going to solve some of these big overriding questions. So when the Quebec Act was founded, people decide they're going to have the First Continental Congress, that all the colonies would send representatives, and they're going to have to make some big decisions on how they're going to move forward and deal with the British. Again, this is just going to take us, kind of move the ball down the field a little bit farther in that quest towards independence and revolution. All right, in the next video, we're going to talk about what happens in the Continental Congress and maybe war. We'll see.